the load test as well. The ingress chart is pretty much the basic nginx ingress deployment form when we've looked at the majority of the Terraform. So we're not using a remote state, we're using a local state. So with the Docker containers, it's pretty simple, right? It's going to run the get sh command. The get sh command will (86) and oh fuck's sake, right? Let's see what else did it fuck up this time. And so if we look at 86, my bad. You see, just like these little things here where like I just forget, like it's not really entrenched in memory here, how one needs to configure these things here. And the 88 what do you mean non-declaration statement outside a function body? I don't see that. True say, if the error is it actually returning an error, is it going to return a string, right? Which is also one of the other issues. So I think it's probably just going to return a string. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to set this to string. But then can you return? What can I make? Can you wrap this in an error? So say error. I think this should work. So at least, although we get a string, we still get an error, because I won't be able. I don't think I can return a nil where we expect an error. So this is one of the nice things about Go. Type expected. Okay, and then again, what we're gonna need to do, we're gonna just need to just delete this bucket here. I know it's horrible, in it. Which I just put that in the make file. I could just put it in the make file, but I'm kind of lazy like that a bit. So you know, I could go to sleep and do this later, but again, there's not really anyone left. Plus, I got some stuff I got to take care of as well, so I'm not gonna be concerned with that for the time being. And I gotta go to the UI and delete this other function that's there, because the functions are still sort of second rate. They're not really there yet. Cool. So the functions are deleted there, and then we're just gonna do make deploy again. Boom, just a thing. Yeah, just haven't been asleep yet, you know. I'm just like writing whatever buzz I'm on at the moment, drinking the last bits of coffee because I thought that was going to be relevant to thing here, but they took the piss. I think what they expected me, like I done this, like, cool. So 2 changes I want to add, which is the cloud function and the other. These build triggers is build again. I'm not too sure as to, because I don't think I can set, even if I set file name to null or whatever, blank value, which there is no blank value in Terraform as far as I'm aware. Oh yeah, I am certified in Terraform as well, to be honest, but besides the point. So let's see what we okay. Let's see what we were looking at on this side of the fence here. We're just looking at the tree there, thinking about what to. Yeah, the templates are pretty much bog standard. Like there's definitely a bunch of stuff what I had to do there in relation to, for example, configuring services, etc. Adding templating for a bunch of different things. Trying to think somewhere where I added some interesting templates. Okay, so if you look at the deployments, because I wanted to demonstrate that the actual, I think this is probably the only interesting thing. Oh yeah, in the cloud build. Yeah, I wanted to just show that the containers, for containers to be reliable, you have to import them into your own environment. Unfortunately, otherwise you run into problems at some point in time. So what we do here is we say, for example, look at the front end container. Yeah, you see global registry, was that already there? Yeah, no, that wasn't, at least as far as I know. There's some places I had to change that, but I can't remember exactly in which environments and I'm pretty sure I had to add that in there at some point. So basically I just wanted to show my ability to template stuff. What? Is there still another assignment mismatch? Oh god, man, I see, this is the thing, I'm not paying attention. And this is the type of errors that you tend to run into most of the time. So I think people that pay attention is definitely important for a job. And for me, man, I ain't got food like that right now, man. And I even got a Go IDE, man. So this shit's kind of 66 and 203, isn't it? Who's using small case TR? I'm gonna start with the transport one. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, we are. It's not. See, if I was using Goland, I would not be having these bloody issues. All right, so. You see, this function, before I tested it, but it was messy. Then I had to do some cleaning to make sure that it was okay. Alright, cool. Then error. Then here we're gonna say if error equals nil, bog standard printf. I should have just done print line. Actually, no. It's better because the errors are quite detailed. Okay, here we go. Right, so in the printf statement, what we want to do is we want to just state error percentage cool. There we go. Right. Oh god, man, you know, I don't, is there any other way, any red? Now you see, it's very difficult to do. And then ready to read RM again. Alright. Yeah, so like I was saying, bunch of edit, nothing too special. What do you mean apply concept? I didn't apply the. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. See, that's the type of error you run into. I didn't. Or should I just. My stress run. See, so the TFRs, we export TFRs here, which are quite relevant, which are then imported in to the function. Yeah, and I think the knowledge that one has and the Stack Overflowing they do makes an ultimate difference in relation. So, boom, now I'm just forgetting shit. So I forgot to delete the function. Like, it's not really, like, this is not ready. I think it's in beta. I could actually help edit the code. Ah, Jesus Christ. The last bit of caffeine I got there. Probably just gonna stay up for a while. Okay, here we go. No, I hate this type of. And I think that's probably one of the things that makes me more embarrassed in work environments at times, especially when working with CI systems, because everything is sort of like there for everyone to see. And while I try to be focused, because when I'm working, obviously I have more fun, so I'm more in tune in relation to what I'm doing. But I tend to like to work autonomously, but even then I still feel kind of like, you know, odd. I think is probably the best terminology for it. I still feel odd in some instances. Just because like I make little mistakes like this, and also not having a full understanding. Like, I have an understanding, but not having specific parts of my muscle memory can really impact things, and I can really reach the goals that I'd like to reach. Because I know that if I have something like this, right, and I refactor it, like, it can be something beautiful. And also the time that I've taken to do this task, you know, it's not too bad for my own opinion. But I don't really know any other people to benchmark it with, because there's other people as well, but they do their stuff in their own way. And I think that my way can be quite effective, but I need to be in an environment where I can be utterly respected. And my debugging, because there's not really errors that I can't solve in my major opinion. You know, I can share interesting books. But actually, I'm not gonna get in too deep into that at the moment. Okay, so let's see. For the interest of time, well, we're looking at the goal line. Alright, cool. Alright, yeah. Let's look at the car build, right? I think that's important. See, we're looking here for Kubernetes. So yes, the cloud build file for this environment is quite bizarre, right? So we create a service account for the tiller. We give that service account. These are all steps in the build process. We give that service account cluster admin permissions, which is obviously too broad, as I said before. We could definitely limit that, and a lot of this should be just like one bash script and one step in the build process, which would be the most effective way to do it. So for example, I could just have like this container and have these shell environments, because you have to keep repeating the shell environments to be able to continuously re-authenticate in each container's new environment. So this is not an effective way to write a cloud build file, but like I said, I just sort of hacked it together. Normally what I tend to do is I hack things together and then refactor based on how I then understand the technology. If it's a new technology, right, that I'm encountering, I think that's the best way to learn and get the most out of it. Are you sure about that? Oh, fuck's sake, man. This I legit had it working, but then when I've done some refactoring and moved things around and renamed a few things, wait, what is any transport, man? I'm not even sure what structure we're looking for there. Because these are like, you know, these are like functions that are available. What am I looking for in it? There's not a really easy way to test this right here. Wait a minute, I'm gonna have to. As you can see in the time, that was like a 5-minute fix. Like it took like 5 minutes. But again, the issue is that here what I did was I've defined this, and I'm trying to. So basically, this is a struct, but then it has a few functions associated with it, which are functions defined down here. So this function here actually serves that particular struct, all this one here and that one also. So what I was meant to do is here, when I pass in tr here, I believe if I but here I've got small case tr. Oh yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense. All right, so yeah, this makes sense, which is the round trip type. So okay, this one here is the HTTP transport pointer to the HTTP transport structure, and then that transport structure I pass it into the round tripper structure, right, which points to this function here, and then in that function I access the round tripper, and then that okay, cool, that makes sense. But then I was like, okay, cool, all right. So yeah, so unless somebody, you know, you'd have to do a bit of debugging to fix this, but if you're okay, there's no git here, so that's that. I just gotta run this again, hopefully. Right, meant to be quick deploy. So hopefully, I'm hoping if at least I can do a demo of everything deployed, and then I can go over the Go code in another instance, would be cool. Here I'll just go over the infrastructure, and then I'll do another video for the Go code. Hopefully 40 minutes would be enough here, but So yes, I think one of the more key CIs that were most interesting here were the actual so Helix, I'm looking at Kubernetes, and I'm looking at the Q. Yeah, so here's the build process, right? Like I said, it's meant to be one big bash script, but then again, at the same time, here I was just hacking it together, and then I further refactor based on my understanding. But overall, I think that these principles that are used to improve CI/CD, the principles that are used to improve infrastructure, right? And those things there are relevant in their own. But here we go. So here we've got Google Artifacts. So here we have to wait until the Docker container is ready before we move on to actually initializing the container into our environment. We provided its service account, etc., that we've created up here. And yes, I did say that the permissions are quite broad, but again, that's the, it's just like it's a demo in a sense. And then here we have the client. I'm hoping I got that code right, man. The fuck. Yeah, because I created the transport structure. I passed the transport structure, and in that transport structure, the transport structure. Okay, there was a transport structure. Then there was the HTTP round trip structure. So those two were ultimately connected. That's right. I'm probably gonna take a nap. I do the Golang code video. So here you can see, so here we've got the client, cluster role binding, cool. And then here we've got the Helm container which inits, and then here we wait for the container to be ready, right? So once the container is deployed, the container has to be ready when the Helm tiller when the tiller is deployed in the environment. We wait for it to be ready using kubectl for it to be in condition ready stage, and then I'll go over as well in the next video. I'll go over like the Stack Overflow stuff that I felt really cool and really helpful in inciting a correct understanding there. So install prom test, right? This is just me running these are just the Helm commands that you run to install prom test, and then the Helm command that you run to install sockshop. Right, and then we're gonna run also to install the load test. Wait, it's finally finished. Fucking hell, that took ages, bruv. You know what? If I was to cut this video and like, okay, and then now what's gonna happen is that it's gonna do the Docker section. So it's going to go to the Docker section in the Docker directory. It's going to create a commit and push it up to the repository. Then it's going to hopefully trigger something in that repository here, as you can see in the Docker files there. And then afterwards, I'm not clicking that, don't spawn Chrome. And then afterwards, what it does is it actually begins to deploy the ingress container. As you can see here, ingress is deploying. This is just the make file. So here the ingress is deploying. Hopefully the Docker container, the Docker build is gonna start running as soon as that's triggered. Cool. And then yeah, that's gonna this gonna probably like a 50 minute video. God damn, man, no caffeine. Yeah, man, no caffeine. But then I'm probably gonna like take ages to get to bed, man, to get to sleep or whatever. Probably gonna have to be in a bloody nap. Probably give it like 3 hours. Cool. And then you see Ingress constraint has been deployed. Here's the IP, and then now it goes into the Docker directory, as you can see here, and then it so this file here, and then now it's finished, right? So everything runs successfully. Cool. And then here we have the monitoring, debug, etc. We have the sock shop, helm, and then we have the load test, and then we have the message. Oh, that's gonna fail. That build is gonna fail because you see here the mistake I made here. This is still there. This is not supposed to be there. So the build will run and it'll probably fail here. Right, that's my guess. But it's gonna deploy the load chop and everything. And basically this is just basically how we send messages. So I'm just gonna copy this. Cool. So basically now it's run here, and this side here you can see it's pushed that up to the Git repository. That would have triggered some builds after I done the ingress. And if you just want to just verify all this, you just go to the make file again, or yeah. You can see here, so deploy, and then it does the init push, which is basically just init, remove, add the repository, add the stuff, and then commit, and then push all. Commit and then push all. Alright, cool. Alright, at least the function is there. Bloody function, man. Took ages. My functions there, and we have the registry, but what we're interested in at the moment is the build. So if you go to the dashboard, there should be one passed and one failed, like one failed build and one successful build. For my opinion, that's what I'm hoping, or at least that's what I understand from what I've seen. See, dashboard, I should probably just click on history. There would have been where you see the history, it'll make sense. All these, I don't want to show all the history. Day 9. I just really zoom in there, so that will be like I show all the builds. Wait, no way that. When is that? Really? Alright, let's see here. Just oh yeah, no, that's it. That's a whole different build. Right, cool. US Central 1. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So Docker files are still pushing. I don't get why the Docker containers are building again though. This one here failed quite eagerly. Let's see why the kubernetes. Alright, yeah, no, it's wait, but how could that run quicker than the Docker? What's happening with the Docker files here? Let's see. Alright, so import run. Or is this just running again? Like, it must be just running again because I don't really understand why that. Yeah, okay, here you can see these two deploy containers and the build containers, cube charts and cool, yeah, this is where, right, so what happened here? See, it error time out. This error here I don't really understand, but it only occurs the first time. So I think maybe it might be that it actually happens quicker. I don't really know what it means by this here. So what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna wait for a minute. I think there must be an error. Can you call that an error in GCP? Actually, you know what? This would be a good time to edit this. So here I'm just gonna remove this here. Cool. Alright. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into Kubernetes. I'm going to do a commit. So you can see the fix issue. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do also in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the Docker side of things. And you see, right? So for example, if I cancel this build, like it's been duration 8 minutes already. Okay. Now don't give me that shit about, like, if I just check the, so you can see we've got triggers here. We can just run the triggers if we needed to. The build triggers there, but what I don't trust is I need to look at the artifact repository and see what does it expect me to return 0 or something? Am I meant to okay, yeah, nah, there might be actually. Yeah, no, the containers are there actually. It's quite intriguing. Yeah, they've been there for 7 to 8 minutes. So there's something that's maybe it could just actually be the Docker section here. Yeah, maybe I need to exit it specifically, like I need to signal that the script is finished running for everything to be successful. So now if I do a git push, just yeah, so if I go to the build again, it's definitely easier with GitLab, I'd say, or something of that nature. But if I do git push, right, so my build to automatically start. Yeah, there you go. Started, and hopefully this time it'll be more successful. So, because some of the steps already run previously. So, for example, some of these were error because. So, for example, since the tail account already exists, this will error. It was here where it went weird before, isn't it? I still got to build an investigator, yeah, but it's. Yeah, because cluster wall already exists. Nah, I did it again. Okay, that's a bug. I think. Well, I think. Jesus Christ, really? Are we still here? Oh, this is annoying, man. I swear I fixed this. So, if it equals 0, then the Docker container ready. Docker container is ready, then break. Then move on to the next section, which is the deployment of the tiller. But it's acting as though. Okay, now it stopped here, isn't it? Error response from daemon. Really? Are y'all gonna do that to the nigga, man? Are you gonna do that to the dude, man? That's. So what? So he wants a specific version? But I shouldn't have to specify a version for the. I didn't have these issues a while back, but hey, I think it's different now. Okay, did you put the chiller? Did you put it in? Nope. Oh, the tiller didn't push. Ah, okay. That's suspect. Why didn't the tiller push though? It's monitoring, isn't it? Yeah, monitoring tiller. The container's not here. So there's probably a build issue somewhere along the line. Okay, so that's probably why didn't that. Okay, that's pretty much it. At least you've seen that the build is working, and I'm pretty happy that the function got deployed okay. Docker container. Yeah, and I use different build tools, different I want to investigate this one. It feels like it's going to be a while. I'm just going to look at I'm just going to look at the build quickly. And I'm mad tired right now, so bear that in mind. We'll go for a little walk outside before. Alright, so if I look. Yeah, this thing didn't fucking finish build. Oh yeah, because I stopped it, didn't it? But then it was taking ages, man. So it successfully tagged it, but it didn't get to push it. But why was it taking so long? Ay, man. This is gone like near an hour. Just sitting here. That's what builds are like, man. At least for me anyway. For the time being. Because it's not like a full pipeline that someone's already configured. And if I was contracting, I think that I'd have everything pre-configured already. But that's not the situation at the moment. So let's see. Here's building. What we're on. The catalog. Front end. Load test. I'm probably gonna do like a few edits here and there, just for the interest of time, especially like when it's like these long ones where when nothing's not really going on and I'm not really saying anything useful. Will be useful. And then sock shop Mongo. You can look at the you can always look at the time in the corner there to be sure of like what's actually much time is elapsed if you want to measure that. Then cool, if we finish this, yeah, this should be the last container. Fuck, man. Come on, man. Fuck. That has to be the last container, right? We can always look at the containers there. Yeah, that is the last container. So why is it? Okay, so is that? Do I need to like? Do I need like? Okay, I'm just gonna cancel this for now anyway. And yeah, come back after I've taken a nap. I'm sure you probably have a better time because this is not deploying as intended, and I'm not really gonna. Don't retry. Cancel. I can show you the function though. Now the function is working to a degree, so I can send it messages and it will. And bear in mind, like the Kubernetes stuff deploys as well. It's just now it's just being thinking because I had to refactor it because whatever they were gonna do, whatever meeting thing. So let's see, they were gonna do whatever. So I wanted to make sure that I try to get that up accordingly. But hey, it doesn't really matter. Cool. So here, no clusters. I'm looking for functions. Right, here's our special function here, so we can always just look at that. And what I'm gonna do, I can send a message from here actually. So if I just, so you can see here, there. If I say, look at the trigger actually, and just be like, so first the event trigger. I'm gonna take the pub subtopic name here. What we're gonna do, we're just gonna look at the logs, and we can see in the source code here. So I'm not gonna do any of the actual stuff that's relative the thing that I did for here. We're just gonna look at the switch statement here. So I'm gonna send hello, and they should get in return. I think this is probably one of the cooler things about the, so gcloud pub sub message. So here now, oh no, probably gonna be gcloud pub sub topic. Gcloud pub sub topics. Nice, and I'm just gonna send a hello. And it responds quickly as well. Look, if we just go here and I go logs, just go down to the bottom here. Okay, no, I don't know. It's just said there. It's nice to have a helpful documentation to hand there. And then if I just send that, there the message has been sent, and you're gonna see it's got received. Like the message said 134. 134, damn, man. Right, and then here you're gonna see hello world. See, like world hello. So it's, yeah, give or take. I can't really tell what time the message arrived and what time, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. The function is functional. The cluster is functional as well, but I can't be bothered with that at the moment. I think I can just deploy the containers at a later time. Bunch of clusters, and yeah, that's pretty much it really. You've seen in the Helm chart, it has vars, it has values. The values populate the manifest, the Kubernetes manifest, which I'm not going to talk about now. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it for now. And that's just like a little debugging session. And then in the next video, what I'll do is I'll actually go over the Go code. And I'm not going to talk about the manifest but we might just take a peek, just explain what happens when a deployment occurs in Kubernetes. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. Yeah, so we'll go over the manifests, we'll go over the Go code, we'll go over the deployment and the applications that are deployed, and how to supplement those, you know. And I think that will probably be pretty much it really. It'll be good enough, it'll be interesting enough from that particular perspective. But yeah, but I hope you enjoyed that debugging session. Kind of tired, but my intention was just to demonstrate that and also the context switching. Yeah, that's pretty much it.